Barcelona versus Inter Milan. And guys, it gets real. Champions League, second leg, 3-3 on aggregate. And it's going to be in San Siro. And Barcelona or Inter Milan, one of these two teams will be going to the final in Munich. Man, we have not been in a Champions League final since 2015 in Berlin. We haven't been in a semis since 2019 up until this year. But guys, listen. Before we get into the team news, the lineup, right, and my score prediction, make sure to like up this video, smash the likes, also subscribe if you haven't, road to 900 subs, and also comment down below, who do you think is going to win this game? Who do you think is going to score? Who do you think will be in the final? But guys, let's get straight into it because last week, we played an insane game with Inter Milan. It was a 3-3. Unfortunately, we did not get a goal margin heading into the San Siro. It is what it is. Barcelona currently have 3. Inter Milan have 3. And let's continue with Inter Milan because I feel like that in that first leg, we learned a lot about them. Inzaghi, what a manager he is. He's definitely a top 3 manager in the world. The way that they suffered, yeah, they conceded 3, but the counterattack, right, through Dumfries. DeMarco was kind of busy because of Lamine, but the way that the wingbacks bomb forward, the way that Barella and Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan play one-touch passes, they don't even take 2 touches. They don't really go long, but they play 4 or 5 passes before they're in behind, right? To Dumfries or it's DeMarco, and it's so quick. Inzaghi has truly instilled his philosophy, and you know what? You have to respect it. I respect Inter Milan as a team. Yeah, they might not play the prettiest football at times, but they are very efficient, and they do play some good stuff on the counter. I can't lie. Them and Atletico are up there with the best counterattacks in world football. I can't lie. Barcelona, our counter is very good, but Inzaghi's Inter Milan, that is what they're best at. I feel like that the high line, we got to stay intact, right? To stop Thuram, to stop Lautaro on getting the end of these chances. And also, I want to say this, the biggest thing that Barcelona outside of the high line, because I feel like that's relatively obvious, is that we have to neutralize Inter Milan from corner kicks, from set pieces. We cannot be giving away easy goals while we have to work, right? We have to build up for our goals. It felt like we needed moments of brilliance while they could just whip it in and score off a set piece, which is all cool. But when it happens twice, that is not acceptable, if I'm being honest. We let it happen once to Dumfries. Amazing overhead kick. But the second one is just unacceptable. And Szczęsny also has to command his box a lot better. Araujo, I feel like he has to start this game because of the physical disadvantages we got. Without Araujo, it's Cabarsi and Inigo. They're not the tallest. So I feel like we have to neutralize Inter Milan from set pieces. They're probably going to practice that again. They're probably going to aim to get corners again. But, hey, we have to deal with it if we are trying to progress to the final. But let's speak about Barcelona because we got some injury news, right? Alejandro Balde will be probably missing this game. Unfortunately, it looks like the reports are saying that Alejandro Balde, if he was going to come back, it's probably going to be the El Clasico on the weekend, just a couple days after Inter Milan. It's kind of crazy, the schedule. We have Inter Milan, and then we have Real Madrid just on the weekend, just right there waiting for us. And we already played Inter and we already played Real Madrid in the cup final. It's kind of crazy, the schedule. But let's speak about Jules Koundé. He just got injured and there's no chance that he will make this game or the Clasico. Robert Lewandowski, however, will be there. Apparently, Robert Lewandowski has recovered fully fit, but I think my gut feeling, and I think it's pretty obvious, Ferran Torres will probably still be starting this game. But don't be surprised if Robert Lewandowski comes in with 20 minutes to go because we pinned back Inter Milan so much that I feel like, you know what? These are the type of games that Robert Lewandowski, this is where, he gets his money's worth. This is why we pay Robert Lewandowski the big bucks because he is the guy when it comes to scoring tap-ins, when it comes to scoring goals inside the box. He's legit a number 9. He's a poacher. That's what he's best at. He lacks other areas of his game for sure. I always criticize that part, but you know what he's good at? He's very good at putting the ball in the back of the net. But once again, to give ourselves a chance, I feel like that we need to start well. We cannot be starting once again down 2. And this time at the San Siro. I don't think that's acceptable. It's a big pitch out there, and it's going to be very difficult to once again come back. I feel like our legs will be tired. I don't know if we could do it once again. I feel like the high line has to be intact. Our pressing must be better. I feel like in the first leg, the first half, the pressing wasn't good enough, especially to start off the game. We have to press much, much better. Frankie de Jong, he needs to press. I feel like that Pablo Gavi, I think he has an outside chance of starting this game. I'm not sure what Hansi Flick's thinking, but I think that the defense, we have to give ourselves a chance by not making silly mistakes. That's the first thing. Start well, 15, 20 minutes into the game. At worst, let it be 0-0. Do not have a 1-goal, 2-goal disadvantage. But listen, ultimately, what is the Champions League about? It's about your best players showing up on the occasion. And Raphinha, he's done it so many times this year. We're going to need one more. We're going to need a brace from Raphinha. We're going to need a goal and assist from Raphinha. Lamine Yamal, he has to show up once again, right? The first leg, listen, guys, is DeMarco still sliding? Because honestly, he had that guy bamboozled, legit. He could not guard Lamine Yamal. And Lamine Yamal, once again, he has to turn up. I know Lamine, he speaks, he talks the talk, he walks the walk, but we're going to need one more game. Whether it's a goal, whether it's assist, just be a game changer once again. I think that our other players, Dani Olmo, he's got to step up. He's playing a little bit, in a rough patch right now. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I feel like Dani Olmo, he gets some chances. He needs to finish. Ferran Torres, listen, the Shark, we need it right now. You know what I'm saying? This is probably our biggest game this season. Real Madrid and Inter Milan this week are our biggest games this season because it will affect the rest of the season. Are we going to be in a final? Are we going to be fighting till the final day of La Liga? Listen, our best players, Raphinha, Lamine, Dani Olmo, Ferran, and if Lewandowski comes on, these guys need to make the impact by just being clinical, straight up. But if I was Hansi Flick, this is actually the lineup that I would put out there. I would put out Szczęsny, obviously the number one. Ter Stegen will probably not be playing for the rest of the year, except if La Liga is already wrapped up. Ronald Araujo, I would start him. Cabarsi, I would start him. Eric Garcia, I would play him as the right back for Jules Koundé. And actually, instead of Gerard Martin, there are some reports saying that Inigo Martinez might be the left back. And in my opinion, I would do that because Gerard Martin, he's just too suspect defensively. How many times do Inter Milan play through our left-hand side? I feel like our left back was getting exposed against Inter Milan's right back, who was Dumfries, time and time again in that second half, even in the first half, some signs. Listen, we cannot let that happen again. In my opinion, Inigo Martinez is probably the best player when it comes to the high line. He understands how to play that. And it's a different position, but I would take the gamble at this point. You know what I'm saying? De Jong, Pedri, Olmo, that is my midfield. I think that's as strong as it can get. Gavi maybe could start. I doubt it. I think that Hansi Flick might sub in Gavi for Frankie de Jong pretty early in the second half, but that's what I see. Raphinha, Lamine Yamal, Ferran. Those three, these guys need to score. We got to be clinical as a team. We cannot let Inter Milan get the lead. In my opinion, if we take the lead, the game will become easier. But if we, once again, fall back, you know what? I don't know if this team can do it again. We've come back a lot. Celta, Atletico, right? Even Real Madrid in the Spanish Super Cup final. We've done it many times. Even in the Copa del Rey final, we were behind. But I don't know if we can just keep on doing it. Let's help ourselves and have a good start. But listen, ultimately, I feel like that Inter Milan, I respect them as a team. You know what? They play counterattack football as good as you can play, and you just got to credit their manager. But Hansi Flick, you got to credit our manager too because he sticks to his philosophy. We're probably going to see another sick game. I don't know if it's going to be 3-3, but listen, guys, it gets real. Will we see Barcelona once again in a Champions League final? We haven't seen it for so long. 2015 was the last time. Man, I just can't believe that we're here. We're actually back in the big time, not in the Europa League, not getting knocked out, in early rounds of the Champions League. But listen, ultimately, I'm actually going to go with a 2-1 victory, not in regulation 90 minutes, but I think over 120 minutes, I think we're going to score in extra time. That's what I think. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be all-out war on that field, but I just have a gut feeling we're going to be in that final. Whether we win it, I don't want to speak about that because PSG and Arsenal are two good sides. I respect them, just like Inter Milan. But I think 2-1 Barcelona to the final. That's what I'm thinking. I hope it happens as a Barca fan. But listen, what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying for the final? What is your prediction, the semifinal Inter versus Barca, right? Like up this video. Let me know down below who do you think is going to score. Are you confident? How are you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel. Like up this video. I will see you all in the next one. Peace. Visca Barca.